Day owners, and welcome to the first video of the year as we passed over Hump Week, we'll call it, and we'll take a look at Week 7. We only have 6 weeks left of regular season before we enter our playoffs for 6 of our owners, and not looking like I'll be one of them. So we'll take a look at this week in review. We'll take a look at, we were talking about some league history stuff last week when Noah's score was running up there. We wanted to know who was gonna have who had the highest score before. What was the highest score? So Mark was asking about longest losing streak because he was creeping up on one of those kind of records as well. Noah was creeping up on the longest winning streak. So I went back over the 6 years with the league and took a gander to see what was out there and wrote some of that down. So we'll take a look at that. We're going to go over some important dates that are coming up on the calendar for owners for the over the next couple of months, and we'll want you to stay tuned at the end. I'll load up some pictures from the draft night and maybe some video that we shot of that, and we'll post that at the end of the presentation tonight. So watch her through to the end and take a look at draft night, and we'll also go over week 8, what's coming up for that, Thursday night football, Monday night football, the season ahead, what the playoff picture looks like, and we'll touch on the buys for next week as well. Shout out to Brad Beisel once again. Was down to the Stamps game. My daughter Megan got tickets for the game for us, so we went down to see them beat the Blue Bombers, and Brad hosted tailgate for us there, cooked us up some hot dogs, had some beers, and Zach and Blair joined us a little later for the halftime and after the game, so it was good to see everybody down there. And if I get this out in time for tomorrow, Brad was heading off to Las Vegas with his wife to celebrate their wedding anniversary. So good luck if you get this before then, or hope you're having a good time if you're watching it down in Vegas, because I'm sure that's what you want to be doing, is watching a video of the commish while you're on your wedding anniversary. So let's get right to it. Let's take a peek first here at last week in review. First game we'll look at was Tuscany Mayhem and Jethro's Heroes, and that went with Mayhem having a lead going into Monday Night Football. Very slim lead at that. I believe it was like 5 points. And Jethro's Heroes had Julian Edelman to play. Amendola's no longer there. And Edelman came up with 14 points on Monday Night Football to get him the win, as he took the game 105.5 to 97.5. I was led by the Red Rifle, picked him up off waivers. Kirsten swore on him the whole game. Came up with chief points at the end and got 20 points. And I have already put him out to drop him. And the Ravens defense got me 18 points. On the other side of the ball, Lamar Jackson from Baltimore put up 27 points. And like we said, Julian Edelman had 14 points for Jethro's Heroes. So with the win, Jethro goes to 3-4, and Tuscany Mayhem goes to 2-5. Next game we'll look at was Steel Curtain was taking on Acadian Assassins, and he was getting back Sesquan Barkley this week and was hoping to get a win and get on track. And on the Thursday night game, Acadian Assassins took a blow when Patrick Mahomes went down with the knee injury. His kneecap was out of place, but she was still able to hold on, come back, take the win over Steel Curtain, 125 to 120.5. Steel Curtain was led by Dak Prescott. He put up 22 points in the Dallas game. They beat Philly, and Leonard Fournette, Jacksonville, and hit their win over Cincinnati Bengals. They put up 21 points. On the other side of the ball, Dede Westbrook in the flex position for Jacksonville got 22 points for the Acadian Assassins to lead her team, and the Jacksonville Jaguars defense put up 20 points for her in the win. So Acadian Assassins go to 4-3, and Steel Curtain falls to 1-6. Next matchup we'll take a look at, Inglorious Staffords were visiting Too Tired. Too Tired was coming off a couple of wins there, and Inglorious Staffords were able to hold on Monday night. They went in with a slim lead, and Too Tired was hoping that Tom Brady and James White would come up big on Monday Night Football. Even though they did come up big against the Jets, Tom Brady only put up 13 points in that game. He only had 249 yards, 1 touchdown through 1 interception. And James White had 0 yards. Rushing, what do we got here? Yeah, and 5 receptions. And no rushing yards. So on the other side of the ball, the win went to Gloria Staffords as he took it 132.5 to 2 targets, 129. And Staffords go to 5-2, and 2 tired goes to 3-4. Deshaun Watson led on the side of the ball for Gloria Staffords, put up 22 points, and Ezekiel Elliott in that Philly game rushed for 111 yards, had a touchdown, and put up 31 points for his number 1 team player on that side of the ball. DeAndre Hopkins, once again, big game, 30 points for 2 tired, but like we said, Brady and White came up short, and Jacoby Jackson, I believe, what do we got here? Josh Jacobs, Oakland Raiders running back. He was their other leading scorer with 21 points in the flex position there in the loss. Magic School Bus continues to roll as he was taking on Forsyth Fokker in a battle under the house at the Forsyth's house, and Magic School Bus still has a winning formula, even though bounced back from last week's low score where he didn't break 100, back over up again. He gets 154 to 115, and Magic School Bus once again takes this week's high score and the $10. He was led by Delvin Cook, who put up 32 points as a running back in Minneapolis, 142 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. And he also got Michael Thomas in the Saints game, and he put up 131 yards in his game for 27 points. On the losing side of the ball, the Forsyth Fokkers got points from Tyreek Hill, who had a big catch in that game, 3 receptions, 74 yards, and 1 touchdown, and that got him 21 points. And that was about it over the 20s for him. The other one would have been John Brown. He is a wide receiver there, for Buffalo, and he got 19 points from him with 83 yards and a touchdown in the loss. So Magic School Bus sits at 6-1, and Forsyth Fokkers fall to 4-3. In the Battle of the Basement here, we had Mac Daddy's Madhouse taking on the one-wind Huey's Hogs. And Huey's Hogs came with his 2nd win in a row. He might be on a roll here, folks. Could be running up the charts. He's took it 101.5 to 80. Mac Daddy was led by the Gardner Minshew, the quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's a horrible name. And 22 points that he put up. And on the other side of the ball, we've had Marvin Jones Jr. with the Detroit Lions, who put up, had 4 touchdowns, put up 43 points, and had 93 yards receiving. Hopefully this week, there's talk Drew Brees will be back to play in the Chicago game. So Mac Daddy's Madhouse can get a quarterback out there after jumping around here a bit with the Red Rifle, who was horrible, and bounce back next week and start to get some wins under his belt as well. He looks like he's suffering from the curse of the champ, from first to worst, and it looks like he's in a good battle with that. We also had the battle of the week, which we'll call it, was the Conley's Crusaders took on Lucas Kickers. That was a good matchup as well. And however, on Monday Night Football, Conley's Crusaders was able to take the win. Once again on the back of the New England Patriots defense, who put up 24 points. They had 4 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, a safety, and a shutout. So Patriots didn't lead his team actually. Latavius Murray with New Orleans put up 36 points as running back, had 119 yards and 2 touchdowns there. For Lucas Kickers, she only got 6 points from Kyle Murray, the quarterback for Arizona. Le'Veon Bell only had 8 in that horrible game the Jets had against the Patriots, and the leading player on her team was with 18 points, and that was Aaron Jones, of the Green Bay Packers. Oh, so on that note, the College Crusaders are at 6-1, tied with Noah, and Lucas Kickers are at 5-2. So we can look at our standings. We've got Magic School Bus in the East in the number 1 position, tied with Connolly's Crusaders. They have them there. At 3rd is Gloria Staffords. Tuskegee Mayhem's in the 4th position. Mac Daddy's Madhouse and Steel Curtain are tied for the 5th with 1-6 records. And on the other side, in the West, Lucas Kickers in 1st place with 5-2. They've got Canadian Assassins and Forsyth Fockers tied at 4-3. Jethro's Heroes and Too Tired, the brothers, tied at 3-4. And Huey's Hogs 2-5, and looking at a 2-game winning streak. Gloria Staffords is leading in the wins with a 4-game winning streak, so he's on a good streak as well. And we'll see how he makes out. Right now in the final standing projections, they are looking at Magic School Bus as the number 1 play, finish 1st, Connolly's Crusaders 2nd. We've got Gloria Staffords 3rd, Lucas Kickers 4th, and what else we got there? 4th, they got me holding on to 5th place. They've been keeping it there forever. I don't know what they're doing there. I don't see me making even the playoffs. And Kitty Assassin's taking the last playoff spot. That's what they have trending right now. We'll see how that goes. Some league history stuff. We're going to talk about that because we were, like we said, we were wondering about Noah's score. So obviously Noah's score week 5 of this season, Magic School Bus put up 272.5 points to have the all-time high score in the league ever. The lowest score ever scored, Connolly's Crusaders, week 2 in the 2015 season, put up 25 points with a full team. The most losses in a season was 10, and I think that was the 13-game season, so 10 losses, 3 wins. That went to Team MacDonnell, which was Bruce's brother Dean, and that was in 2015 as well. The most wins we've ever had in a season is 11, and that went to Steel Curtain in 2016, and Jethro's Heroes repeated that feat in 2017. Longest winning streak out of the blocks was 7. That was by Jethro's Heroes 2016. So Noah fell 1 short of tying that when he lost to Huey's Hogs, and Huey's Hogs also was on the roll to take the longest losing streak, which still sits with, would have tied with Too Tired. They are at 6 losses in a row, and that was in 2016. So those are the stats I dug up kind of for our history, and there's probably some other stats. If you have any that you would like to see or hear about, let me know. Well, I used to be able to bring up each game and we could tell what was going on, and I was trying to find out who scored the most points ever, like as one single player. I thought it might have been Peyton Manning. I think he had 6 touchdowns in the first game of the season, the first year we played. That was for Great Root Bears the year he won, and I went back and all the stats for individual players for each game. There's been a race, so I can't go and dig up that. So if there's something else you think you'd like to know, we'll try to dig it up, find out what it is. If somebody here will remember, or I'll try to remember that. So far in the this year, since we're over Hump Week, we took a look at the top players in the positions, top 3 players. So the top 3 quarterbacks. Number 3 is Patrick Mahomes. He's owned by Canadian Assassins. Number 2 is Deshaun Watson. He's owned by Stafford. And number 1 quarterback, Lamar Jackson out of Baltimore, Jethro's Heroes. For running backs, number 3 at the halfway point is Austin Eckler for the LA Chargers. Connolly's Crusaders have him. Number 2 is Dalvin Cook. He's with Minnesota Vikings, and Magic School Bus has him. And number 1 is McCaffrey with Carolina, and Magic School Bus has him as well, which probably explains how he's doing so well. For wide receivers, number 3 is Cooper Kupp with the LA Rams. He's owned by Mac Daddy. Number 2 is Chris Goodwin. He's at Tampa Bay. The ball should be at Mike Evans' hands, but it's going to Cooper Goodwin, going by Connolly's Crusaders. And Michael Thomas with New Orleans, number 1 receiver so far. And guess what? Magic School Bus. Tight ends. Mark Andrews with Baltimore, he's number 3, Magic School Bus. Darren Walker with Oakland, he's the number 2 wide tight end, Magic School Bus. Austin Hooper is the number 1 tight end with Atlanta, and he's with Jethro's Heroes. Defensive player, number 3 is Chandler Jones with Arizona, on waivers. Number 2 is Corey Littleton with the LA Rams, he's owned by Forces Fockers. And number 1 is Jamie Collins, New England Patriots, on waivers. Kickers, Josh Lambo, he's with Jacksonville, and Steel Curtain has him. Greg Zerlin with the Rams, and he's owned by Forces Fockers. And the number 1 kicker is Justin Tucker with Baltimore, owned by Magic School Bus. Defensive teams, number 3 is the Carolina Panthers, owned by Stafford. Number 2 is the 49ers, owned by Mac Daddy, and the number 1 defense, which I underbid when I tried to get them, and Collins Crusaders hold them, is the New England Patriots. So that is our top 3 in each category so far. Also, another stat while we're talking about stats, I looked to see who had what on their roster and who is holding on to their original players. And right now, Forces Fockers and Steel Curtain have 14 of the original 17 players they drafted on their lineups. Forces Fockers at 4-3 and Steel Curtains at 1-6. On the other side, we've got 2 teams that have dropped half of their team already, and they only have 7 of the original 14 players that were drafted. Or, yeah, 7 of the original 17 we drafted, whatever the rounds were. And that is Magic School Bus and Connolly's Crusader. They're both 6-1, so it looks like if you dump half of the people you draft, you do all right. Okay, some important dates we want you to mark on your calendar. First one is November the 10th. Why is that important? Well, we're going to try to get as many people from the league down to the pub that me and Nat went to one day. It's called the Side Street Pub and Grill. It's in Kensington. I'll put up the address down here at the bottom. And we'll get there early. Kickoff's at 11. They got a buffet for $15. If you buy certain marked beers, you get the chance to win an NFL prize. It's either a helmet or a jersey. They'll do the draw after the first set of games on the Sunday. So we're going to try to get as many people down there as we can and take in the game and enjoy some fun. The next event, which I know is on a weekday, so we're talking American Thanksgiving. It's on November the 28th this year. 3 games that day. We try to get them all in. We haven't picked a venue yet. We usually go to the last drop here, but if we go down to the Kensington pub and we enjoy it, then maybe we'll transfer our support down to them as well and take in the Thanksgiving in Kensington. I don't know if that's more central for anybody or not, but maybe you pop over from work if you're downtown. December 1st, the Houston is playing the Patriots. Still on the fence whether I'm going to go or not. So that's an important date on my side of the ball, but we'll see about that. December 2nd is the Monday Night Football. Will be the last game of our regular season. It will end on December the 2nd. Then we have 3 weeks of playoffs. So our last game for the championship will be played, if the players are on Monday Night Football, will be December the 23rd. This will be when our playoffs officially end. We'll have crowned a champion. And then we will switch over. There'll be a couple more regular season games left. And then it'll switch over to our playoff format, which I will let you know about before we do that. So, let's take a look at next week, which is week 8. And right off the bat, we're looking at Two Tires taking on Tuscany Mayhem. Both these teams need the win to keep their playoff hopes alive. So, Two Tires at 3-4, and Tuscany Mayhem's at 2-5. And right now, Two Tired is favored. I do not have a defense in yet or a kicker, so it'll come up pretty close, and we will work on that. And hopefully, once again, I am not looking at losing to a Patriots player, as Tom Brady is their starting quarterback at this time. and he puts the nail in the coffin for me again. At least they got a good team to watch on television as they sit at 7-0. But hate losing on here as well to players on the team that you love. The other lineup, which is also important, more for Acadian Assassins and Gloria Staffords. Acadian Assassins are 4-3. I need that win to keep staying up near the top of the East. The West. And Gloria Staffords are at 5-2. And they've had the 4-game winning streak, like we mentioned, so maybe keep it on trucking. And right now on paper, this is the Assassins are well under. They only showing 88 points, and that's because they really don't have a quarterback right now. Patrick Mahomes isn't in the lineup, so she moves up Russell Wilson. He's supposed to have a big game against a weak team that week, and her tight end is also on a bye, and her backup tight end isn't the greatest in the world, but should bring it up, make it kind of a close game. It'll all depend on mostly on what Russell Wilson puts out for that game. We've got Jethro's Hero at 3-4, trying to stop the Magic Skull Bus. That game right now is a 40-point plus spread for the Skull Bus, so good luck stopping him. There's nobody on his team that's forecasted under a dozen points, I think, except for the defensive player and the kicker. So, yeah, tough go sledding there for Magic Skull or Jethro's Heroes, but hey, we said that about Huey's Hogs as well. Injuries happen, as some of us can all attest to this year. It's been pretty ridden season for people getting injured. So that's hopefully will turn out to be a better matchup than it is right now. The next matchup is Forsy's Fockers at 4-3 taking on Mac Daddy at 1-6. This game is looking tight on paper. Hopefully Mac Daddy can bounce back and start to get some wins under his belt and make a shot here for the playoffs. If you win all the next 2 games, there's 6 left. We can get you up to 7-6. That's gotten most teams into the playoffs in the last few years. So we got a shot. There's 3 or 4 of us that need to make a pretty good run to the end here with 6-5 wins to make the playoffs. So hopefully Mac Daddy can turn the tables here and take a win with Forsy's Fockers. If not, Fockers is in good shape for the playoffs as they move on. Huey's Hogs on a roll, 2 wins, 2-5, take on Conley's Crusaders. And Conley had a bad week for buys this week, and this was the time to beat him, and he still got the win. So we'll see how he bounces back there. His buddy Odell Beckham Jr. is playing the New England Patriots, #1 defense in the league. Don't expect much from him. Expect a lot of cursing on the smack board. But on the other side of the ball, Conley has Patriots D, which have been putting up big points in the 20s range almost every week. So good battle there. Huey's Hogs got a tough battle to keep that win streak going alive in that matchup. And last but not least, we have Lucas Kickers taking on Steel Curtain. Lucas is 5-2, Steel Curtain at 1-6. Still sitting on the injury bug. Not quite sure how his lineup's looking. Dak Prescott's on a bye for him, and he's got a few, about 2 or 3 on a bye. So once he gets his lineup in, we'll see how he can get it. Should get up over 100, and he can hope for a falter from Lucas, as she didn't put up too many points this week. So if he can get it into the 120 area, he has a shot for a win there and get himself moving towards the goal line here and see if he can get himself into a playoff projection. So that is it. I will be away this weekend. We're flying out Friday to Phoenix, and then on the following Thursday we're flying to Dallas for a wedding, and we're going to be there for almost a week, and then I'll be back on the Wednesday after that. So 2 weeks be away. I'll try to get something out poolside in the form of a email with a summary of last week and a look at week 9. And week 9 is going to be quite interesting because we are at my niece's wedding on the Sunday, and me and the Mrs. Commish are playing each other. So there might be some bursts of anger and cheers in the middle of this wedding ceremony as we battle head to head on week 9. After that, anyways, for this week, if I do get this out before Thursday night, 'cause right now it is Tuesday. I'm filming Tuesday night late. I'm going to try to get it out in production tomorrow and get it out Wednesday night. And if I don't, because I haven't done one this year, and it takes me a while to refigure out what I'm supposed to be doing with the green screen and how to drop everything in. So hopefully you'll be seeing this Wednesday evening late. If not, Thursday evening, if I put it out then, I'll send an email out Thursday morning with who's playing. But right now, if you are getting this prior to the game on Thursday Night Football, the 1-6 Washington Redskins are taking on the 5-2 Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. Should be a blowout. And Monday Night Football looks like a winner as well, as the 0-6 Miami Dolphins visit the 2-4 Pittsburgh Steelers. So those are the Thursday and Monday night games. There's no early game on Sunday. I think the London games must be over. And on bye this week, only 2 teams. We have the Baltimore Ravens and we have the Dallas Cowboys on bye. Okay, so that is it for me. Keep watching because we'll put up some pictures here of the draft night. And Chris, you weren't here because you missed out, but Blair had to take it because he was the second worst guy there. So this is, you can't see it, might have a close-up later. This ring is a ring that you'll wear during that draft for the rest of the league. And it's got loser on fantasy football, loser in pink. And on the sides it says, this guy sucks at fantasy football and last place. So that's what we made Blair wear because you weren't here, Chris. And we also made him wear this t-shirt, which you can see in the photographs. It says, I suck at fantasy football. So this is also, if you come in last place, this is what you have to wear. And unless you're like Chris, you just don't show up to the draft because you were last. And then the next guy has to wear it, who was Blair. So you do owe Blair a beer if we see you on the Sunday, December the 10th, and Blair shows up, or November the 10th. And if Blair does show up for him wearing this and taking it for a win for the team. So that's it for me. Enjoy this next couple weeks of football. Like I said, I'll try to get an email out this next week by the pool. And then the next week after that, we're kind of busy. I get back Wednesday, and the Tuesday we're going down to Waco after the wedding for a bit. So I don't know if I'll get an email out to you then or not. Maybe a very brief one. Wednesday, well, probably not Wednesday, Thursday morning. The week following, so 2 weeks out. Then that'll be for week 9 review and week 10 look. So anyway, take care, enjoy. Hopefully a few of us at the bottom here will get our teams right around. We'll make a run for the playoffs. And the guys who are on top can hold on. I don't see anybody stopping Magic School Bus yet, but maybe you'll get a flat tire, have to pull over the side of the road, and some of us will get past them. Anyway, take care. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you in a few weeks. And we'll definitely see you on the Smack board.